Hey, Frank Rumbauskas here again with video 4 in my new series on sales appointment and lead generation. Now, I've talked about building a platform, finding your customer avatar yesterday, so today I'm going to expand on that and talk more about what it means to have a platform to launch your lead gen efforts from. So what is a platform? Well, it takes up a lot of different forms, different definitions. So let's start with, for example, a political platform. Every 4 years, of course, there are national conventions, Democratic and Republican national conventions. And at those conventions, the delegates agree to what the party platform is. So the platform is what the party stands for, what policies they support, what they oppose. So you need to define a platform of what you offer, what value you bring, why you are better than your competitors, why customers should buy from you, and so on. So you've got to define that platform very specifically. The other part of a platform is actually having a presence. So almost like the foundation of a house. You want to build a foundation as part of your platform, and that includes a well-built LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn company page, Facebook profile, Facebook company page. With Facebook, you're going to focus more on your business page or company page rather than your personal profile. And if you work for somebody else, don't worry about that. You could still set up your own company page, business page, whatever you like to call it, and use that to attract people, to drive traffic to a website, to drive people to call you and request an appointment, and so on. The other part of this, of course, going back to the very core of the Never Cold Call Again system, content marketing. So you have to have a blog, you want to have a personal website, you want to work Twitter and other social media, and of course, then we go offline to things like direct mail, flyer distribution, and so on. So all of these things have to come back to your platform. You have to define what it is, what you offer, what you stand for, why you're better than the competitors, why people should buy from you. You want to translate that into online platforms like a blog, a website, a podcast even. I'm standing here in the podcast booth as I shoot this video. You should be doing that. YouTube videos, which this will become. And of course your LinkedIn and Facebook is very, very important, particularly LinkedIn. So at that point, once you've identified your customer avatar, you've identified your platform, you've put those together to build actual pieces of social media property, online property, and so on, offline pieces like direct mail and flyers. At that point, you've got to start building a relationship with these people. Now, I always quote the book, the Face-to-Face book, and it talks about how even though the internet and social media and email are very effective for making contacts and getting prospects, you've got to get them offline as quickly as possible and in person. If they're not local, get them on a face-to-face web conference or even FaceTime on your iPhone. If they're local, get them to a meeting, get face-to-face with that person, because 9 out of 10 business deals are still closed face-to-face. So it's very, very important to get offline and get into the real world as quickly as possible. To get there, you have to have a messaging strategy. You can't just blast emails out, blast cold LinkedIn messages, which most people see as spam nowadays. So you've got to have a strategic messaging policy and a plan to put that in place. So if you think about what happens if you don't do this, if you don't design your customer avatar, identify that, build your platform, build out your foundations on social media, online and offline, and then create a messaging strategy. Well, if you don't do that, there's little left to do. So you're left with cold calling, going to networking events, and so on. And as these things become less and less effective, the results are disastrous. You have little or no sales, you're not making any money, you're going broke. You will lose your job if you're not producing sales. If you're a self-employed small business owner, you could easily go bankrupt very quickly without business coming in the door. So the way you solve that is to implement what I talked about. You identify your ideal customer very, very specifically, and there are ways and checklists and things to do that. Then you build your platform. Again, there are specific ways to do that. Very, very detailed. And then you take that, you build your online and offline foundations as part of your platform, LinkedIn, Facebook business pages, LinkedIn profile, blog, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, podcast, you name it. And then, of course, offline with marketing collateral that you create, whether it's flyers or brochures, direct mail. By the way, the old school long form sales letters are working better than ever right now because so many people have abandoned them for internet marketing. So that's something else to keep in mind, and something else that I'm going to teach you in my sales appointment system. And you take all of that, turn it into a messaging strategy with the people who respond and are attracted to you, get them offline. They'll be pre-qualified. That's the beautiful part. They're pre-qualified, predisposed to buy from you. So once you get them to a face-to-face meeting, the sale is pretty much a foregone conclusion. So keep an eye out on Monday. I've given you a lot of information, and on Monday I'm going to show you the exact system to put all of this into place and start generating a tremendous amount of leads, sales appointments that are ready, willing, and able to buy from you. So keep an eye out on that Monday, and I look forward to talking to you then.